What happens when the family you support sits you beside the trash at the very table you paid for? My name is Eli. I'm 34 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the responsible one. Not the golden child, not the rebel, not the favorite, just the dependable sibling who showed up on time, paid his bills, remembered birthdays, and never rocked the boat. I built a stable career in finance. I live alone, and I don't chase drama. My family, though, thrives on appearances. They're loud, close-knit in that staged, picture-perfect way, but they're masters at hiding real problems behind fake smiles. My role was always peripheral. I was invited to the weddings, but never in the photos, included but not embraced, noticed only when I was useful. My younger brother Mason, on the other hand, was the star. Charming, reckless, the kind of guy who could stumble through life and somehow still be celebrated. He dropped out of college, quit 2 jobs, moved back home at 28. But to my parents, he was untouchable, their golden boy. Meanwhile, I quietly paid my own tuition, held the same steady job for over a decade, and even helped cover their mortgage when Dad's hours got cut. None of it earned me admiration. At best, I was tolerated. At worst, invisible. Still, I kept showing up, convincing myself that maybe one day I'd truly be part of the family circle. I endured the little digs disguised as jokes. "Eli, you're too serious. We figured you'd be working. Lighten up." I smiled through it all, hoping consistency might eventually buy me belonging. That illusion shattered last fall at Mason's engagement dinner. It began innocently enough. My mom called me in her syrupy voice, inviting me to a rooftop celebration downtown. She gushed about Mason's fiancée, Brooke, and how special the night would be. Then came the catch. Could I cover the reservation? "Just to hold it, honey, we'll pay you back." I should have known "we'll pay you back" was code for kiss that money goodbye. But I agreed. I booked a private space for 20 people, paid the deposit, even arranged flowers because Mom said fake ones would look cheap in photos. Part of me thought, maybe this time I'd be included. Maybe this night would be different. When the evening arrived, I dressed in my best suit, polished cufflinks, a bottle of champagne in hand, and a card with their initials embossed on the front. The rooftop was stunning. String lights, a jazz trio, the city skyline glowing in the distance. I stepped into the private section expecting smiles, maybe even gratitude. Instead, Mason barely glanced at me. "Glad you made it," he smirked before pointing at a folding chair shoved beside a trash bin. "Sorry, Eli. Family only at the main table. That spot's yours." The group laughed. My parents said nothing. My mom gave me her tight, practiced smile. My dad chuckled awkwardly, and Brooke didn't even look up. My chest burned, but I swallowed the humiliation and sat quietly at the side, jacket still on, champagne unopened at my feet. For 2 hours, I watched them toast, eat, and laugh. Mason delivered a long speech about being surrounded by his closest people. Brooke praised my mother as the best future mother-in-law a girl could ask for. Not one person offered me food or even acknowledged I was there. I might as well have been invisible. Then the bill arrived, over $3,000. The waiter approached me asking if he should run the same card for the balance. Mason didn't miss a beat. "Oh, Eli's got it." The words snapped something inside me. For once, I didn't swallow it. I smiled calmly and said, "Not my table." I was told this section's for family only. The silence that followed was electric. My parents froze. Brooke's father looked appalled. Mason sputtered that it was just a joke. But I stood, collected my coat, and repeated, "I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I wasn't welcome. So I won't be paying." Then I walked out, leaving their stunned faces behind. That night, messages poured in. Mason texted angrily, "Dude, you couldn't just pay and talk later?" Mom accused me of humiliating them in front of Brooke's family. Even Dad chimed in with the old line, "You already paid half. You might as well finish it." For years, I'd been their emergency wallet, their safety net, their invisible scaffolding. That night, I finally stepped away. The fallout was brutal, but not for me. Brooke's father, furious at the deception, questioned why his daughter should marry into a family that humiliated their own blood. The wedding planning froze. Mason panicked. My mom sent me a long email begging me to smooth things over, but never once saying sorry. Then my aunt, sharp-tongued, practical, called me out of the blue. Instead of scolding me, she said, "About time someone shook the tree. They've leaned on you too long." For the first time, someone in the family actually saw me. Meanwhile, Mason spiraled. He begged me to fix things, then lashed out when I refused. So I closed the old joint account he'd been leeching from and moved the leftover funds into my own savings. He called in a frenzy when his card bounced. "You can't just do that," he shouted. But I had. And I reminded him he was the one who said I wasn't family. He sputtered excuses, called me jealous, but I simply laughed. The golden boy was finally facing consequences, and for once, I wasn't the cushion. The final blow came not from me, but from Brooke herself. She emailed me, admitting she had ended the engagement. She'd learned Mason lied about everything, that I supposedly insisted on paying, that I chose to sit alone, that I left early for work. She discovered the truth after speaking with the restaurant staff and seeing the invoice. If they can publicly humiliate someone who supported the entire night, her father had told her, then what happens when you're the one being humiliated? Mason's mask had slipped. Brooke saw the entitlement, the lies, the cruelty, and she walked away. Reading her message, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: relief. Not revenge, not triumph. Just the quiet relief of being free from the role I'd been forced into. For so long, I believed that if I gave enough, sacrificed enough, maybe I'd earn my place. But the truth is, you can pour everything into people who refuse to see you, and it will never be enough. That night at the rooftop restaurant sitting beside the trash bin, I finally understood. I wasn't losing a family. I was releasing myself from a cage. Family isn't defined by blood or last names or traditions. Family is the people who see you, respect you, and value you, not for what you provide, but for who you are. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is draw a line and say no more. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, if you've ever felt invisible in your own family or undervalued in your closest circles, I hope you know you're not alone. Remember, you are allowed to set boundaries, to step away, and to choose peace. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, I'd be grateful if you subscribe, share, or leave a comment with your thoughts. Take care of yourselves and never forget, you deserve a seat at the table, not a chair by the trash.